Hello everybody out there watching on YouTube, and welcome to race number 25 of Season 4 of the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series. I'm Levi McIntyre, the voice of the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series, here to welcome you to the Bass Pro Shops 500 here at Atlanta Motor Speedway as we arrive at the penultimate race of the regular season. After today we got one race left before the chase begins for the championship. And speaking of the chase, let's actually take a look and see what those chase driver points would look like if the chase were to begin. So after last week, which was Watkins Glen, I believe, Joshua Sekuli took the points lead back, and he leads by 20 points over Dylan Young. Third, William Brock. Fourth, Kyle Matthews. Fifth, Dylan Poteet. Sixth, Tim Fiegel. Seventh, James McLeod. Eighth, Chris Dollarton. Ninth, Rafael LeDuc. 10th, Sean Galligan. 11th, Johnny Gardner, and then 12th, Matt McIntyre. So that is currently the top 12 in points for the chase. The two wildcard drivers are still Zach Flickinger and Dylan Jacobs with 2 wins outside the top 12 in the top 30. Still got this week and next week for guys such as Matt Haas, Joshua Collard, Jay Jefferson, Seth Cole, and even James Qualls to find a way to reach victory lane to get their second win, and other guys in the top 30 in points that aren't in the top 12 could still get 2 wins here this week and next week to put themselves in the hunt for a wild card spot. Nonetheless, let's take a look at the starting lineup. Starting in the last row is Seth Cole and Carson Gum. Top 10, Matt Haas is on the pole for today. Starting next to him is William Brock. Row 2, Joshua Collard, Jessica Shelton. Row 3, Sean Galligan, Preston Plord. Row 4, Dylan Thoreau, Rafael LeDuc. And then row 5, Jackie Tang and Emmanuel Hartnett. Let's go ahead and get the Command 2 fire engines for the Bass Pro Shops 500 at Atlanta.
Drivers, start your engines!
All 42 cars rolling on the track for their one pace lap. But yeah, as far as drivers who are in that cutoff zone, pretty much from around, let's start with, well, actually not quite, because it is very, very close from, let's say, 6th in points back to about 20th in points. It is very close. Only about 59 points or so separate 5th from 20th. So it is still anybody's game to try to get into the top 12 in the point standings, virtually. But we'd have to see how the racing's going to play out here. And with Atlanta being a mile-and-a-half track, you want to get on the bottom as quick as you can to try and make moves to get yourself up to the front. The pace car enters in the pit road, so you know what time it is. It's time to boogity 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 go racing. At the line, it was a Richard Petty Motorsports 1-2. The two Brits of the team, Joshua Collard and Sean Galligan, but now Galligan starting to lose ground as he got forced to the outside. Meanwhile, Dylan Thoreau up to second, but here comes Rafael LeDuc. Rafael LeDuc's been starting to get on a bit of a roll over the course of the past few races. He's found himself moved up from around 24th in points up to 9th over the course of about 5 races. And he's still looking for that first win of the season and his first win for Furniture Row Racing. Right now, he's looking pretty good right now up here at the front here in the early going, but still got plenty of laps for things to really shake up. As Joshua Collard falls back to second, Dylan Thoreau to third, but here's Preston Plord. Preston Plord comes into this race 27th in points, yet to get a win. If he can manage to win here and then win next week at Darlington, he'd be in the hunt for a wild card spot to try and get into the chase. Right behind him, currently in the 5th spot, DJ Curtis, 20th in points. However, he is 20 points behind 12th in points, so he still has a chance to get into the top 12 and make the chase. James Qualls behind him. Right now he sits 15th in points, and he already has a win, and he is only 7 points out of 12th. So he's just looking to either try and get in on consistency or try to get another win so he can make sure he can make the chase. And then right behind him in the 7th spot is Johnny Gardner, who is 11th in points. He is currently 14 points ahead of that Danger Zone 12th spot, which is held by Matt McIntyre. So as long as Gardner can stay up around where he is, he'll be in good shape after this race. But I got a feeling, depending on where certain drivers in the top 3 or 4 in points finish, we might see some drivers already get locked in to the chase after this race. Particularly, like I said, the top 3 in points in particular, Joshua Sekuli, Dylan Young, and William Brock, as they have almost a full race of a points advantage over 12th in points. Coming into this race, that is. But right now, as far as the Richard Petty Motorsports clan, we got 2 out of the 4 drivers in the top 10, with Collard in 3rd, Phil Parker in 8th. And Sean Galligan was up in the top 10, but he continues to fall back. So tough break right now for the 44 team of Sean Galligan. And speaking of Galligan, he comes into this race 10th in points, and he did fall 4 spots after last week, or not last week, but the last race at Watkins Glen, and he's definitely trying to look for some redemption to keep himself up in the mix. But right now, Rafael LeDuc, ever since he'd taken the lead, he has just not really been challenged by anybody so far. So Rafael LeDuc seems to have a really good race car, and he has a quarter-second lead over Dylan Thoreau, but from what I've seen with the intervals, it's been kind of bouncing back and forth, so to speak. But also don't forget pit stops. If we have a green flag race the whole way through, we're bound to see green flag pit stops at some point. Probably around 20 laps to go would be my best estimation of when we'll see green flag pit stops. But anyways, Dylan Thoreau has somehow managed to figure out how to reel in the 77, as he's now approaching the back bumper of Rafael LeDuc. But then at the same time kind of lost a little bit of ground, and meanwhile we might see a 3-car fight for the 3rd spot ensue between Joshua Collard, DJ Curtis, and Preston Plord, but we may see a lead change here in a moment, as here comes the 6 of Dylan Thoreau with a run to the inside of the 77 of Rafael LeDuc. Dylan Thoreau comes into this race 17th in points. He actually fell out of the top 12 after Watkins Glen. He was 11th in the standings, but after he had a bad run at the Glen, he fell to 17th, but he is only 12 points out of the 12th spot. And right now he's looking really good, as he's now up here at the front of the field looking for his first win this season. However, speaking of Dylan Thoreau, I have a big announcement to make, and that is this will actually be the farewell season for Dylan Thoreau, as he will be stepping away from this series and perhaps either going to retire altogether or move down to either the Domino's NXT series once that returns here in a couple months, or the Amazon Prime Truck series. We'll just have to wait and see an official word. But as of now, he will not be returning to the Marvel Studios Cup Series next season. Meanwhile, we got a new leader up here, DJ Curtis in the 4 car. DJ Curtis slowly worked his way up through the field, and now he's up here in the lead, but Rafael Leduc is coming hot on his tail as Preston Plord moves up to 3rd, and look at Pichu London in the 21. Solid run going so far as he's going to make it 3 wide for the 5th position, or actually the 4th position, if I'm correct. Yeah, 4th. And Pichu London comes into this race 24th in points, and he fell 6 spots. So he finds himself in a bit of a deeper hole than a lot of other drivers are trying to get into the top 12. But now he's reeling in Preston Plord for 3rd. And then you got Zach Flickinger in the 49, who currently is one of the 2 wildcard drivers, 13th in points, but he only came in 1 point behind Johnny Gardner. And right now, he'd be in the good to get into the top 12 and carry over the bonus points from his 2 victories over into the chase. But right now, Rafael Leduc retook the lead a couple laps ago from DJ Curtis, and now he's starting to pull away again. As Zach Flickinger is starting to move his way up as he now goes by for the 4th position over Preston Plord. But right now we got 2 Fords, a Chevy, a Toyota, and a Dodge up here in the top 5. But we are getting close to the halfway point, and we will take a commercial break. But before we get to the commercial break, let's do a full field rundown to see where everybody's currently running once we cross the line. Rafael Leduc is your race leader. 2nd is DJ Curtis. 3rd, Pichu London. 4th, Zach Flickinger. 5th, Preston Plord. 6th, Jake Baskinger. 7th, Joshua Collard. 8th, James Shelley. 9th, Dylan Thoreau. 10th, Dorian Facepuncher. 11th is Carson Gum. 12th is James Qualls. 13th, Alex Ferranti. 14th, Sean Galligan. 15th is Trent Dunham. 16th, Dylan Poteet. 17th, Johnny Gardner. 18th, Dylan Young. 19th, Dylan Jacobs. 20th is Shane Lake. 21st, Emmanuel Hartnett. 22nd, Chris Dollarton. 23rd, Joshua Cooley. 24th is Zachary Fitzwater. 25th, Phil Parker. 26th, Seth Cole. 27th, Jonathan Zorling. 28th, Matt McIntyre. 29th, Kyle Matthews. 30th, William Brock. 31st is Scott Commons. 32nd, Jackie Tang. 33rd is Alex Strayton. 34th, Devin Becker. 35th, Jessica Sheldon. 36th, James McLeod. 37th, Matt Haas. The pole setter's really falling back. 38th is Charles Sanford. 39th, Paul Minnick. 40th, Dougie Shears. 41st, Jay Jefferson. And then 42nd, Tim Fiegel. But Rafael Leduc still leads as we cross the line, and it's 24 laps to go. We're going to take a commercial break, but stay watching. The action will be on the bottom of your screen, and we'll get back to live action after this. Hey, Levi. Oh, hey, Your Highness. Are you checking out ZevBellringerPorn.com right now? Yeah, I was actually just about to check it out right now for myself. Alright, well, let me know when you're done, alright? Thank you. Alright, I'll see you later.
20 minutes later.
Hey, Levi, I was just coming to check... Okay. That is the biggest boner I've ever seen in my fucking life. And Jesus, your walls are wider than they normally are. Well, he's not gonna have any kids. What you gonna do? If you want to have a good time in your room at night, be sure to check out www.zevbellringerporn.com and also follow her on Twitter @Zev_Bellringer. Trust me, you will thank me later.
This is hot.
Wake up, damn it! Wake up!
What the fuck? Oh, no, Dylan, don't you do it. Don't LePage the field. Please think about it. Think about your friends. Think about the other drivers in the field. You're probably going to get them all to hate you and you won't be loved ever again. No, don't do it, Dylan. No! Why did you LePage the field, Dylan? Why? Why? Attention Marvel Studios Cup Series drivers. Do not LePage the field under any circumstances, otherwise everyone's gonna hate you. Hey, dramatic commercials sell, baby. Yes! Hey you, do you like to drink water so you maintain a healthy lifestyle? Well, if you want to live a shitty lifestyle, be sure to check out Shit Tech Shit Water, the kind of water that will make you have explosive diarrhea. I like my water the same way I like my porn. Sexy, seductive, and a lot of action. So what are you waiting for? If you want to spend all day on the toilet, be sure to try out Shit Tech Shit Water. To order your first shipment of Shit Tech Shit Water, be sure to dial 1-800-USELESS or log on to shittyshittech.com. Shit Tech products are currently banned in the states of Vermont, Maryland, and Missouri. So be sure to pick up your product today, while you have the chance. Shit Tech products have just now been outlawed in the state of Oregon. Be sure to pick up your orders now. That is 1-800-USELESS or shittyshittech.com. So yeah, if you want to try Shit Tech Shit Water, go ahead and you'll suffer from explosive diarrhea. Are you going to go get some? No? Well, I can't blame you. Welcome back to the Bass Pro Shops 500 here at Atlanta Motor Speedway as we are back to live commentary, and Rafael LeDuc still hangs on to the race lead here at Atlanta, so he's looking really strong out there, and we have yet to see green flag pit stops take place, so these guys have been able to stretch out their fuel tanks a little bit longer than I thought they were going to. But meanwhile, we got a challenger for the lead as here comes Jake Baskinger with a run underneath for a second, as pretty much the top four had broken away from the majority of the field. So right now the top four are the ones battling for the lead, but as I say that nobody's coming to pit road yet, the first one to come in is Jay Jefferson in the 87, but he was in the back of the field when he came in. And the first two of the lead lap, or not the lead lap, but the front runners to come in are Rafael LeDuc and Pichu London. And a good chunk of drivers are coming in to pit road. And LeDuc, it looks like he'll be the first one to come out of the pits of this first big group of cars. And now I see the second group kind of coming in all together. And yeah, it looks like pretty much everyone came in two separate groups. But nonetheless, after these pit stops, they are good to go on gas and fuel for the rest of the race. No question. Now, as far as who will the leader be after all this takes place, that remains to be seen. But the first driver to come out of the first group was the 77 of Rafael LeDuc, but let's see who comes out first of the second group, and it is Jake Baskinger, followed by DJ Curtis. Now, will Baskinger be able to keep the lead? I don't know. LeDuc and London are coming in pretty fast in the middle of turns 1 and 2, and there's Baskinger, still not out yet, and it looks like the lead's going to cycle back to the 77 of Rafael LeDuc. And we'll do another full field rundown once everything gets cycled around properly here in a couple laps. But now, as a result of those pit stops, Rafael LeDuc's got a bigger lead now. A little over 3/4 of a second he leads over the 21 of Pichu London now. But yeah, strong pit crew also to that 77. But as soon as we cross the line here, we're going to do another full field rundown to see who is where now after these pit stops. So now that the pit stops have concluded, Rafael Leduc is your leader, second Pichu London, third is Jake Baskinger, fourth Dorian Facepuncher, fifth DJ Curtis, sixth is Dylan Poteet, seventh James Shelley, eighth Sean Galligan, ninth Zach Flickinger, 10th is Dylan Young. Oh, contact! Big contact from James Qualls into Preston Plord, but moved James Qualls up to 11th. 12th, Preston Plord. 13th is Zachary Fitzwater. 14th, Dylan Thoreau. 15th, Alex Ferranti. 16th, Dylan Jacobs. 17th, Jackie Tang. 18th, Matt McIntyre. 19th, Joshua Collard. 20th is Seth Cole. 21st, Jessica Shelton. 22nd, Trent Dunham. 23rd, Joshua Sekuli. 24th, James McLeod. 25th, Devin Becker. 26th is Sky Commons. 28th, is that Sky Commons? Yes, it is Sky Commons. I was just making sure. 27th now is Jay Jefferson. 28th, Alex Drayton. 29th is William Brock. 30th, Chris Dollarton. 31st, Emmanuel Hartnett. 32nd, Jonathan Zorline. 33rd, Tim Fiegel. 34th is Kyle Matthews. 35th, Dougie Shears. 36th, Shane Lake. 37th, Carson Gum. 38th, Phil Parker. 39th, Johnny Gardner. 40th, Charles Sanford. 31st, Paul Minnick. 41st, Paul Minnick. And 42nd, Matt Haas. Man, Matt Haas went from first to last this race. Lead change ensuing. Jake Baskinger trying to take the lead back from Rafael Leduc. Pichu London going to try and take second away. And this is what Dorian Facepuncher is loving right now because he is gaining on the top three. So this is going to turn back to a four-car battle for the lead. But with another driver into the mix, Dorian Facepuncher. Facepuncher comes into this race 26th in the point standings. Doesn't have a win, and he comes in 44 points out of 12. If he can come through with a good finish, he'll be able to gain a lot of ground on 12th, and then when we get to the cutoff race at Darlington for the Southern 500 next week, he's going to have to try and put the pedal to the metal and hope that drivers ahead of him in points have a bad day and he can get into the break or into the chase in the top 12. But now Jake Baskinger's starting to pull away from everyone. And I saw a little bit of contact between Rafael Leduc and Pichu London, almost like a bump from the 77 trying to get around the 21, and he makes it work. But man, even after that pass, they are losing ground to the 18. It's like the 18's car has sort of come alive here in this after pit stop run. And when we come across the line, it will be 4 laps to go here at Atlanta. And right now, the 18 is pulling away big time, probably to now a little over a second lead, as now Dorian Facepuncher is trying to take second away from Rafael Leduc. Let's see the margin. Yeah, over 1.3 seconds separates the top two. And as a result of those guys battling, that has actually kind of helped bring DJ Curtis up to the second through fourth, and even James Shelley is slowly creeping his way up there himself. Well, let's see the margin now with the top two as it's 3 laps to go. 1.2 seconds, so now these guys are trying to catch the 18, but I don't know if they're going to have enough time to get up to him, because the 18's pretty far ahead now at this point. No lap traffic will be in the way of the 18 of Baskinger. 2 laps to go here at Atlanta. Less than 1.2 seconds now. But just as long as the 18 doesn't make a major mistake, he is pretty much good to go to win this race. And I believe this will be Baskinger's first win of the season. And he has not been having a great season in terms of trying to qualify in the races as the white flag is displayed. DJ Curtis has managed to get around Rafael Leduc from that big run that he's been able to get. But it ain't gonna be enough. Gets through turn 3 pretty well and is going to come out of turn 4. No problem. Checkered flag getting ready to wave. First win of the season. Jake Baskinger wins the Bass Pro Shops 500 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Huge win for that 18 team, as they have struggled all season trying to make races, and they finally have pulled off the W. Congratulations to Jake Baskinger. But let's look at the rest of the results. And now, one race left before the chase, but let's look at the rest of the results. Dorian Facepuncher, phenomenal comeback finish in the second spot. Pichu London finishing out third. DJ Curtis comes back to get fourth. The dominant car of the day, Rafael Leduc, finishes out in fifth, so he's still going to maintain top 10 in the points. Teammate James Shelley finishing in sixth. James Qualls with a great run in seventh. That could be enough to put him either closer to the top 12 or in the top 12. Zach Flickinger with a great run in eighth. That could put him in the top 12 as well. Dylan Young, arguably the first official driver locked into the chase via points, finishes out in ninth. And then Jackie Tang, highest finishing rookie, in the 10th position. Rest of the top 20, Seth Cole, Dylan Jacobs, Joshua Collar, Jessica Shelton, Zachary Fitzwater, Alex Ferranti, Trent Dunham, Sean Galligan, Dylan Thoreau, Joshua Sekuli. Rest of the top 30 was Sky Commons, Devin Becker, Matt McIntyre, Alex Strayton, William Brock, James McLeod, Jay Jefferson, Preston Plord, Dylan Poteet, Chris Dollarton. Rest of the top 40 was Emmanuel Hartnett, Jonathan Zorline, Carson Gum, Johnny Gardner, Shane Lake, Kyle Matthews, Paul Minnick, Tim Fiegel, Charles Sanford, Matt Haas, Phil Parker, and Dougie Shears round out the field. And that does it for our coverage here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and this was a huge race for some drivers. But we got one race left before the chase, the Southern 500 at Darlington. But until then, here are your results, rookie points, and regular points heading into Darlington. And this is Levi McIntyre signing off.